Okay, in our last video we left off with question number 20, and we were talking about C and D being in the plural form, the they form, and I made a couple references to the word ferns here and then to the word plants. The true grammatical subject of this sentence is plants. Even if ferns had been singular, we still would have used the plural third person form of the verb in C and the plural third person version of the possessive adjective in D, because this is the true subject. All of this is just a complement to this subject. It just happened to be that they were talking about plants and ferns. Ferns are a type of plant. So just don't want to get you confused. Remember, always go back to the grammatical subject when choosing a verb or a possessive adjective referring back to the grammatical subject. Okay, let's move on to number 21. Number 21. Okay. Despite of the increase in airfares, most people still prefer to travel by plane. Okay, well, you probably have caught this, or maybe you're having a couple of thoughts about it, but the answer on this one is A. Despite of doesn't actually exist. It's either despite or it's in spite of. In spite of. And so here you go. Despite, in spite of. Despite does not take the preposition of. And that's a common little trick on the TOEFL test. They'll try to spin you around and confuse you. Let's look at the other answers just to be sure. B, people still prefer. Still is just an adverb. That's fine. They continue to prefer is all that means. C, prefer is fine. Many people prefer. And then to travel, an infinitive can go with prefer. And you can even use a gerund, I think. People prefer traveling. People prefer skiing. Yep, you can use a gerund as well. D is fine. It's definitely A. I just like to go through the other answers in case you chose one of the other answers. But this one is A, despite, not despite of. Okay, let's move on to 22. All of we students must have an identification card in order to check out books or check books out of the library. Okay, let's go back through here. All of we students. Well, if you know anything about subject pronouns, they cannot go after a preposition. So this has to be something else. It's either, well, colloquially you could say all of us students. People do say that. Being the TOEFL test, more than likely this is some possessive adjective. It's probably all of our students. All of our students. And I put the two answers there, us and our. All of our students is probably going to work. Must, and let's go through. Let's check the other answers. B, must have. Yep, base form is used with must, so that's correct. Have an identification card in order to check books out. This is a phrasal verb, to check out, to get a book out of the library, to basically borrow a book from the library, to check out. So that's okay. And then of is kind of a substitute for from the library, of the library. So that's fine as well. Maybe they were trying to confuse you by putting two prepositions in a row, but really this preposition belongs to the verb. This is a phrasal verb, to check out, and then this preposition is just giving us the role of the library. The book is coming from the library. So those are okay. So this one is A. If you caught it right away, you didn't even have to really look at these. This is a pretty obvious one. No subject pronouns after a preposition. Okay, moving on. Moving on. 23. Columbus Day is celebrated on the 12th of October because on that day in 1492, Christopher Columbus first landed in the Americas. Okay, so here we go. Columbus Day, it's a holiday, it's capital letters, is celebrated. This is a passive voice. This is a singular form. So that's okay. Columbus Day. This is a singular day, so that's good. On the, that's the correct preposition to use. On the 4th of July, on the 25th of December, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. Yep, so on is going to work. And then, 12 of October? Not 12 of October, right? Should be the 12th of October. So let me put the answer in here. Here we go, 12th with the TH. This should be the ordinal number, not this cardinal number. The cardinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ordinal numbers are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. When you're using a date in English, you use the ordinal number. And even when you write it out, like I have in this example, October 12, 2011, most native speakers will read this as October 12th, 2001. They don't put the TH, maybe just to save space or something. So October 12th, 2011, this is the 12th of October, so yep, it should be C. And then let's take a look at D just to be sure, because on that day in 1492, this is a little subordinate clause, time clause. Christopher Columbus first landed, there's our verb, so this is a verb clause, so because works. We don't have to change it to because of, and a noun clause, like because of Columbus's arrival, so that's good. So D is fine, so it is C. It should be 12. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, oh, this one got a little cut off. Here, but let's see if we can deal with this. 24. One of the most influenced newspapers in the U.S. is the New York Times, which is widely distributed throughout the world. This is the word that got cut off, distributed. So let's go through the answer. One of the most, okay, the most. Alright, let's go to the next thing. We have to look at the whole idea. When you have two answers together, sometimes it's a good idea to just look at the whole idea and see where this is going. Alright, so one of the most influenced newspapers. Okay, so we have a one of the, that takes a plural noun. Remember, like one of the tallest buildings in the world, one of the fastest cars. So our noun is newspapers. Then we have influence, and if you know what that means, influence, it's a noun. So we have a noun and another noun. Now, in many situations you can do that. You can have a noun used in front of another noun, and then the first noun takes on the characteristics of an adjective. But if the adjective if the noun has its own true adjective, then you should use the adjective. And this is one of those words that came from French. French words usually have a noun and an associated adjective, and here it actually is influential. So it should have said one of the most influential newspapers in the U.S. is the New York Times. So it should be influential. And then let's take a look. C is, well, is okay because one is actually the subject. So don't get tricked by this newspapers thing. Then one is the subject. And we have the New York Times. You probably know what that is, but if you don't, it's just a newspaper. It's in italics, so that's just the name of something, which is widely distributed. I apologize, this got cut off. But widely is the adverb, distributed is the adjective. Actually, it's a past participle connected to this passive voice. This adverb is inside of a verb, basically a verb sandwich, so that's actually okay. So D is okay. Yes, the choice is B. It should have been influential. All right, we're just about out of time, so we'll see you in the next video.